Today we're delving into the pages of history to explore a chapter that for many remains overshadowed, the Sino-Indian War of 1962. Before we dive in, let's set the stage. The early 60s were marked by geopolitical tensions, and one of the flashpoints was Ladakh. It was here, against the breathtaking backdrop of the Himalayas, that India found itself facing a formidable adversary, the People's Republic of China. Ladakh, with its stark beauty and challenging terrain, became the theater for a war that, despite its brevity, left an indelible mark on the region and its people. But how did it all unfold, and why is it crucial for us to understand? Before we begin, please do subscribe for similar stories. Picture this: the early 50s, a time when the world was navigating the complexities of post-colonial independence. India, freshly freed from British rule, was forging diplomatic ties, and one man at the helm was Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, Nehru had this vision of Hindi-Chini bhai-bhai, which translates to Indians and Chinese are brothers. Sounds ideal, right? However, geopolitical dynamics and territorial disputes began to cast shadows over this. As tensions simmered, the border disputes between India and China started coming to the forefront. So what were the factors that eventually sparked the outbreak of war? China had its eyes on territories like Aksai Chin and India. In an attempt to establish its presence, implemented the forward policy. The clash wasn't just about borders, it was a collision of ideology, strategic interests, and complexities of nation building. Stay with me as we untangle the threads that led to the eruption of the Sino-Indian War in 1962. Now let's delve into the prelude of the Sino-Indian War. Picture the rugged landscapes of Ladakh, where early signs of strain was starting to show. The forward policy implemented by India was like adding fuel to the simmering fire. It was a bold move, aimed at establishing outposts in disputed territories, especially along the Aksai Chin region. But as you can imagine, it didn't exactly have a calming effect. The border regions witnessed skirmishes, and the stakes were high. India, in its bid to assert territorial claims, found itself on a collision course with the People's Republic of China. Now let's talk international reactions. The West saw China as an aggressor, part of a larger communist objective. The United States recognized India's boundary claims in the eastern sector but maintained a neutral stance in the west. Meanwhile, Britain stood firmly with India, echoing their support for the territorial integrity of the nation. November 14, 1962 marked a pivotal moment as the Indian forces launched and attacked on Wallong in the Eastern Theater. This move, considered by China as an aggressive move from the defensive position of Sela, led to heavy casualties on both sides. As the echoes of Wallong reverberated, the People's Liberation Army responded swiftly, attacking Indian forces near Sela and Bomdila on November 17th. Now let's shift our focus to the Western Theater, particularly Chushul. On November 18, 1962, PLA forces initiated a heavy infantry attack, catching Indian troops off guard in the misty morning. Terrain and logistics played a crucial role in determining the outcomes of these battles. Sela's high ground, the capture of strategic points like Tembang, and the audacious attack on Rezang La demonstrated the complexities of warfare and the harsh Himalayan landscapes. As the dust settled on the battlegrounds of Ladakh, China had reached its claim lines, prompting the declaration of a unilateral ceasefire. The announcement on November 21, 1962, marked the end of active hostilities, but the repercussions echoed far beyond the mountainous terrain. The ceasefire brought relief, but it also exposed the fragility of India's military preparedness and diplomatic strategies. Nehru's letters seeking US support during the conflict remained unanswered, and the aftermath saw a re-evaluation of India's foreign policy. It was a critical juncture where the world witnessed the geopolitical dance between nations. The Sino-Soviet split, the US role in the Cuban Missile Crisis, all played into the narrative of Ladakh's forgotten war. The war became a catalyst for India. a nation that learned crucial lessons from its own vulnerabilities. It united the country in ways unforeseen, but it also marked the end of certain geopolitical aspirations. The echoes of Ladakh's forgotten war continued to shape the destinies of nations in the years to come. The once popular slogan of Hindi-Chini bhai-bhai lost its luster, replaced by skepticism and a realization that peaceful coexistence required more than diplomatic gestures. The United States, in response to India's defeat, shipped arms to New Delhi. This move, however, soured relations between the US and Pakistan, as arms sent to India raised concerns in Islamabad. The diplomatic fallout between Pakistan and the US further escalated with the subsequent Indo-Pakistani War of 1965. The consequences of the Sino-Indian War reached far beyond borders, shaping alliances, influencing military strategies, and leaving an indelible mark on the geopolitics of South Asia. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Asia Obscura. Please do subscribe for more stories. If you have your own stories to share or topics you'd like us to explore, feel free to leave a comment. Until next time, stay curious, stay passionate, and stay tuned.